Okay, amazing. Hello, everyone. I hope you're really enjoying this morning on the first day here at Naples, and the lunch was amazing. So I hope you all get the energy back for this exciting panel. My name is Chiara Moderetto, and I'll be the host of this afternoon, as well as the moderator of a couple of conversations. I'm the managing partner of Stablecoin Insider, the #1 outlet taking care of anything stablecoins related. And we are going to get started with quite of an interesting conversation about network state, digital communities, and what it really means to grow in a decentralized system in a centralized world. Please welcome our three amazing speakers. We have Marina Petrichenko, growth lead at the Institute of Free Technology; Giampiero Zito, founder of Workers Badge; and QJ, Executive Director at the Ethereum Community Fund and Lead Coordinator at Zuzalu. I would say maybe let's just get started with some few notes on your background and why you got interested into this topic.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Marina. I'm working in Web3 full-time since 2017 as a marketing, BD, growth expert. Last 4 years, I'm focusing specifically on the privacy-preserving tech, and currently I'm a growth lead of venture studio called Free Technology. We are focused on the public goods and providing civil liberties to the people. We have lots of different companies under our umbrella that you can explore, such as Decentralized Codex, the Decentralized Storage Codex, P2P, censorship-resistant messaging, Waku. We have Logo, Status, and a bunch of other companies. And yeah, it's an honor to share the stage here in Italy, and let's make it happen.
Thank you. We can do a round of applause.
Hi guys, I'm Giampiero Zito, founder and CEO of Mediterraneo Lab 4.0. That is the company developed Workers Badge blockchain credential. I work in blockchain industries and Web3 by 2017. And I have invented a patent, now registered, and software decentralized to blockchain and soon for different blockchain like Algorand, Ethereum, and Polygon that manage verifiable credential for in skilled job industries and use blockchain to save in a immutable way the credential. Thank you very much and see you soon for the other question.
Hello everyone, I'm QJ. I'm from Ethereum Community Fund. We are an organization that has 8 years of history. And the reason we have relevance to today's topic, on one hand, is because we lead the coordination of the building of the software after the Zuzalu experiment. Anybody heard of Zuzalu from the audience? It is a network state crypto city experiment initiated by Vitalik in 2023 in Montenegro. So it was one of the first real large gathering from Cypherpunk communities, Ethereum communities, lasting for about 2 months, gathered more than 1,000 people for exploring the idea of a network state. Not necessarily become one, but gather people who are interested in the societal innovations to look at all possible aspects and look at what tools we need. And on the other hand, our relevance also comes from 7 years of work at meta coordination in decentralizing knowledge bases, coordination of resources. We are the first grant program in the Ethereum space. And among that, there's also carbonvote.com, one of the tools that helped the DAO attacks, post-mortem coordination for forking Ethereum. So generally, the tools that are huge boost for privacy that originates from the original cypherpunk spirits is what our organization is pushing. Thank you very much, Napolis, for inviting me for this panel.
Great. Thank you very much for these lovely introductions. And I would say let's start directly trying to debunk really what this cypherpunk paradox is. So I would say now we're looking at 2025. what does Cypherpunk mean to you personally? You can get started.
Well, for me, being a cyberpunk in 2025 means protecting the right which slowly disappearing in the digital world. It's like a right of the digital freedom. And it's not because we have something to hide or we're doing something wrong. It's because we have a right to exist without being constantly observed, constantly manipulated and sold. It is also about building with intention. It's about choosing tools and protocols that hard code not only for convenience, but also for resistance and censorship resistance. Original cyberpunks didn't wait for code to be shipped. They just shipped it. And I think in the spirit of it, we have to be focused on building protocols, companies, and products that makes privacy by default, not as a luxury feature.
Yes, it's a good question. For me, Cyberpunk in 2025 is designing for dignity because we have tried to balance the needs of people, workers, to share information without share sensitive data or identity. There are different industries in which these principles are more or less strong, but in our job industries and HR tech, for example, we try to balance this principle and try to solve this paradox, separate the identity framework with the decentralized attribute of identities. For example, we manage a software, not decentralized, that work with decentralized identity stack, like DISME, for example. I don't know if you know. And the other one at the end that is Algorand blockchain. In this way, we guarantee, I do an example, that when I share my open page with specific credential, I safeguard identity and sensitive data behind this identity, and in the same time, I share the transaction ID on blockchain. In this way, and this type of architecture, we try to balance the principle of top privacy with the need of a stakeholder to know some attribute. I don't know if I have answered to your question.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that like throughout this conversation in general, we are going to try to talk about all the different aspects of the network state or this new way of structuring society. So I think this is for sure like identity, a big part of it. But yes, I'm curious of your thoughts, QJ, as well.
Just to repeat the question, I don't know whether I got it right. It's about what cypherpunk means to me.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, okay.
Especially like nowadays compared maybe to when you get started like a couple of years ago.
Thank you. I think many people are under the impression that cypherpunk is about being anonymous, being in the dark, that, you know, like when you could hide. But I think in today's world, where the world is largely even governed by algorithms, by AIs in the future, and by the agents that we delegate a lot of resources and power to, that have a lot of data of ours, it becomes even more important that this spirit is in every solution by default, where you could have the alternatives in all the systems we are using that allow the choice of keeping your data to yourself always as a default. So what I think in 2025, it is even more specific to our mission for being cypherpunk or upholding the cypherpunk spirits, when we want to build much more alternatives, when the next generation would by default use tools that ensure privacy, ensure your choice to disclose the parts of identity that, or verify the parts of identity or your track records just for specific needs, to have ephemeral identities.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think all of you are like touching upon identity, privacy, and data. And I think there's this paradox indeed between the mass data surveillance and the willingness, on the other hand, to try to own our data and preserve our privacy as well. So can you try perhaps to elaborate a little bit more? How do you see this evolving and balancing between the community that wants more privacy and the government itself that still is implementing a lot of data surveillance mechanisms, also coming with technologies like AI and so on?
You mean the paradox between scaling and still being private?
Yes, between like the mass surveillance society that we live in nowadays and the inner willingness of communities themselves, like our talk today, for example, of trying to do something to preserve privacy.
Yeah. I think the difference here that like we're shifting from personal encryption to collective encryption, and currently it's already like an organizational structure becoming. And of course, it's much harder to scale companies fighting the privacy than normal Web3 ones, because we have lots of moralities and vision that doesn't let us even, for example, do proper analytics or collect certain data. And we focus mostly on education and educating people understanding of the needs of it. So if before, like, you know, cyberpunks were in 90s communicating that privacy is a power, right now privacy is weaponized. We are manipulated to have our choices, our social access, our credit scores, and basically we just cannot fight for financial freedom while we can leaking metadata on chain. So this is a paradox. We have to make people like personally understand the importance of it. And through the education and deep commitment of these values, network states possibly could be built. Because, again, talking about how this topic connecting to the network stakes, the difference is not the borders, it's built not because which country you're from, but because which values you have. And that's what makes it tricky and complicated to scale and build.
So in this case, do you think it's more like of a top-down or bottom-up approach? Like this, to build such network state or to try to preserve privacy, do you think it's more of a bottom-up approach, so really starting from the community itself getting educated, or more of a top-down, so starting from like large organizations, the government that believes in these values in the first place?
It's going like from bottom, yeah, from the infrastructure to up, of course. Everything starts in the beginning from like building truly commitment to the values through the education. But of course, it's impossible to scale it and make it, to put it on the level of the mass adoption without certain collaborations on the top.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe your thoughts on indeed like scaling.
Yeah, I think that I have already answered in the first answer to the second question, but I declare myself are not privacy orthodox, and in my work also with, for example, European Commission, I try to develop standard, international standard, for example, ISO TC 307, in which we balance the application use blockchain with privacy and security paradigm, in which, for example, Europe is leader in the world. But don't mean that Europe balance in the right way privacy right with application right. I do another example. If I'm an issuer credential for skill, I have an older credential. Older credential is the owner of the data, and we introduced the concept of digital sovereignty. This is different from privacy, but I have the issuer that is a stakeholder of this data, because also this issuer has right to share in different way that he issue real, in the right way, in a validation mode way, this credential. So we try to balance in the future. This is a task for regulatory standard body, people who participated in the process of building of a decentralized app, for example, to write the balance between the pseudonymization in encrypted way or the stakeholder that has visible the right data without exposure sensitivity data of identity. In this way, we try to build different services by workers page. In the next week, we deliver a new open source license in which there is a software that take credential on native chain, in this case Algorand, and share the credential in NFTs that would duplicate, not transfer, because we use soulbound NFTs in our stack, duplicate this credential on another chain. In this way, in this interoperable way, we not only share the credential, but we share all right, included identity in the credential, like right to receive a discount, like to receive a reward. In this way, we balance right to share attribute of identity with the right to protect sensitive data. In fact, in our open page 3.0, there are certificates with one EdTech consortium. We don't exposure the data associated to the identity because it's managed in a decentralized way. In this way, we guarantee the balance by right to privacy of people and the right to know specific attribute by stakeholder.
Yeah, perfect. I think it would be nice just to clarify the difference between digital sovereignty and privacy that you mentioned before, so we're all on the same page also for the rest of the questions.
Sorry, digital what?
Digital sovereignty, because I think you introduced the topic, so I think it would be nice to clarify that.
Oh, for me to clarify a little
No,
bit
for
the
you,
difference.
Giampiero.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that digital sovereignty should be included in the privacy paradigm.
So you see it as an umbrella term, and then underneath there's privacy.
Yeah, because I'm owner of the data, there are stakeholders of this data, there are interest people, organization in specific data. We protect these with encryption of wallet and protected this with encryption also of credential, because when I share open page, I share information that are on software, but these information are registered on the chain. So if, for example, a user in the future would not be more on the platform, like GDPR in Europe, that is vigent regulation, actual regulation, sorry, we cancel his profile on the platform, guarantee immutable data on the chain, but every people that go on the ledger see encrypted people wallet. So they cannot link that wallet to the people. So we guarantee both privacy and blockchain. For Europe regulator, for example, there are some people that think it is impossible. I think no, depend on architecture, depend on privacy by design approach, and depend how do you balance decentralization blockchain and other data that are stored on software or cloud or data center. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope to answer to the question.
Yeah, I think it's the overall concept also of zero knowledge proof and how can we use that technology to achieve just what you just mentioned. I think for you, QJ, perhaps it's interesting to dive a little bit deeper into the crypto community itself and how this movement and perceiving of privacy has changed throughout the years, as Web3 itself has become more mainstream?
Well, that's going to be a long answer, but as many of us know, like the idea of a truly, completely decentralized, sovereign financial system, a cash system like Bitcoin, attracted many people who were very explicit, but anonymously, against how the world was being run, especially in the financial sector. And it's not coincidence that it was invented after the global financial crisis in 2008. So I would say there is a lot of the cypherpunk spirit from the very beginning, the rebel spirits from the bad boys. Over the years, we could sense a little bit more and more people are attracted by many aspects of this beautiful new invention that put decentralized consensus, immutable ledger, and then peer-to-peer messaging protocols together as this new way of inclusive financial technology. However, then a lot of the push become a bit more, I would say, out of convenience, out of market expansion, understandably. So with more people being attracted to this sector, I sense personally a bit of a dilution of the original idea. But at the same time, there's also a quiet, I would say, resurge of the cypherpunk spirits coming back, seeing how artificial intelligence is going to run the world, seeing how black boxes, even in Europe with the magical GDPR, I've had experience when supposedly my account was closed and I went back to the website and I registered with an email that I used before and I couldn't. Right, so the server still knows that I was a user, and then I wrote to them and say, if you have not completely purged my data, I would like to purchase them back. I'm willing to pay for the service now. They just gave me the data back after an assumed deletion of my account. Because it's a black box, there's just no way, even in good faith trust, that we can audit and verify that our data are in safe hands. And this is an age-long history in human history, right? Like a lesson in human history. If you entrust your assets to someone else, it is going to be a risking the possibility of leak and exploitation. This is a concentration of power. When in a new year, a new era, what we have is that data are the new oil. So this new surge of, a quiet new surge of ZK technology being tested in Zulu experiment in 2023, our push for truly decentralized ZKP to prove, to be completely owned by users, not in a server, when you can prove your identity, all of those I see are very aligned efforts in our community to bring back not only bring back the spirit to a small group of people who are, not so mainstream, but in a real time of potential threat, to bring this adoption from technology to people who crave for a change of pattern, a change of fashion, and a change of doing things in a way that is completely trustlessly, so that there's lower cost for coordination. There is a possibility for new emerging communities to try new things and then push progress forward for their own individual needs.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, especially on your last point, I think when you just mentioned trustless adoption, I think this opens the conversation as well on DAOs, right? So if we look at network states and we look at DAOs, what makes them different? Why should we pursue one way, the other? Or yeah, what in general are your thoughts? You can start back again, yeah.
Sure. DAOs have also evolved a lot from the concept we've had in the past years, in the early years. We used to define Bitcoin as a DAO, right? Like it's completely autonomous and sovereign, and the fact that it has its own currency system and it can be run non-stoppably makes it a decentralized autonomous organization. Over the years, it has become a little bit more blurred in marketing. As you know, we also called before ChatGPT a lot of things AI. And I would say the DAOs today still have very limited functionalities, usually over assets, and it makes it much more of a digital solution that still needs to be explored. It was great and exciting to see how Aragon 2.0 has explored this further and make it much more modularized for organizations to fit to their own needs, but what we can govern over are still very limited. On the other hand, a network state, however it's defined in recent popular publishings, what we see is more of grounded to local community kind of an attempt. So there's more social narrative to it than just technological solutions. Usually people are called together for a mission, usually, or ideally that's the case, and then DAOs or other tools on chain are used for coordination. Then it can be an embodiment on chain to explore these potential network states, but at the same time there's much more nuances in the social structure, in a definition of a network state, in how they want to further this in collaboration with existing sovereign states. So there's a lot more to know about it, but I would say the major difference would be one is more a technical solution, the other is more of an experimentation for how communities, societies, and countries can evolve into different things.
Yeah, thank you. I think an interesting follow-up question there as well, and perhaps Marina, you can expand on this as well. I was just at the ACC in Cannes, and I was listening to this panel, and that they were saying that one of the hardest challenges for DAOs is that everyone is very interested in the concept of it, but no one actually puts the efforts and the contribute needed in order to run the DAO successfully. So when we expand the concept of DAO to network state as well, do you think that the same reasoning applies as well, that there's still like an effort needed on the community side in order for these Web3 nation states to work well?
I mean, in DAOs, just like in the networks, the basics are kind of similar, right? Because the majority of people through the votes make some sort of decisions. But again, the question is here how you actually distribute the power of this decision. For example, if you're validating some network and you're a node operator, it depends on how much you contribute. So people who contribute the most has the most voting power. And like this was kind of makes it similar, but also they're very different because DAOs mostly have a single purpose, like managing a treasury or a protocol, while network stakes are multidimensional and they often offer like identity, economy, culture, and coordination in these systems. And as I mentioned before, they start from same values, not the borders. But the catch is that the code does not eliminate the power, it reshapes it. And if we don't have a backbone layer, such as decentralized storage or protected communication, there is also a risk that is going to become just another like surveillanced Web3 city.
Yeah, so can we say that the DAO can be a technological structure that powers the network state?
Theoretically.
Theoretically, okay. What are your thoughts on Giampiero?
To share my vision, I will share again an example. If I buy product, I use my wallet and crypto. Other people, the counterpart, don't need to know who I am and what is my name, because the value is on checks or DEX, is fixed in that journey, in that date. When I share different different attributes, like talent, for example, it's impossible don't share something of myself. DAO for me are should evolving in hybrid approach, should reveal the identities without reveal they vote in the governance process. I think it's difficult to explain, but there is a mix by KYC of DAO governance, because talking personally, I would say who govern me. But it can be useful and also more productive. Don't say how these people are voting in some specific teams. Because this, I think, increase also efficiency or productivity of the governance. There are also other examples of permissionless and public blockchain, without expose the name, that after 3 years are obliged governance for stake with KIC. Because also staking, it's important know who are the people in some specific moment. Because if we consider that there are blockchain in which stake is allowing only specific people that have specific amount, okay, you in this way are reducing democratic approach of blockchain. That is the principal motive that is born. So we try to balance the right principle of Web3, the right principle of decentralized, the right principle of blockchain, with the possibility to know who govern specific teams, like vote without exposure what these people are voting. So I think that should balance this approach.
Thank you. I love how you always make very practical examples, and we are now closing down the conversation, and I think it would be nice to just closing it down with something practical as well. So what is one thing that we could implement today to get as close as possible to the network state? If you can just keep it brief, just one concrete example. Thank you.
Improve UX, simplify onboarding. Actually, huge shout out to ESF for this. I just tried out the platform, and this is so nice when you can register basically in less than 2 minutes. We're all very busy, and we cannot spend 15 minutes on registering. So yeah, make it easy to use, basically. That's the key. All the privacy tools.
I'm according to Marina, and I think that it's important to set some specific feature without know some specific technology. So people who onboarding should have a feature integrated in the dashboard. For example, smart contract, for example, wallet. We use this approach for our platform, and bring associate to the identity a wallet without any action by the users. Obviously, there is a term of services. And in the same mood, we transfer credential with technology without managed technology by users. I think this is important because not every users know technology, not every users use technology every day, and for increase the exploitation of some technology, we try to use this approach. About one network state that I non mentioned before, I think that they should evolving. We try to build a network stake in the future of work. We try to build a new internet.
Just a reminder to keep it short.
Huh?
Just a reminder to keep it short.
1 minute.
1 minute, sorry.
Please finish your sentence.
No, only say that network state can be also created in some vertical, for example, in which there are social contract, smart contract, verified identity, but without exposure some data. In this way, we try to build a little network stake in specific vertical like Internet of Carer. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm left with only 30 seconds now. I think in order not for network stakes to become another, let's say, rebranded version of concentrated power and concentrated data, we really need to have very decentralized technology where communities can coordinate how to fund, how to store their knowledge collectively without burning books. And this is my blowing my own horn now because I have a presentation after Jakub in 20 minutes about decentralized social consensus. I think blockchain solved the issue of financial decentralization. But how to spend your money, how can we as communities give rise to our own selected choice of legitimate great tools, how to become the next community, next Bitcoin or Ethereum from our local community. This relies on collective sovereign, cognitive sovereignty to begin with before we have the sovereignty over our assets, and then the sovereignty over coordination of how a nation, a state can be coordinated. We want to touch upon the most fundamental layer of the issue where we could remain independent and have access to knowledge without worrying about centralized institutions interpreting everything for us.
Thank you very much. Please, let's make a round of applause to our panelists. Thank you, Marina. Thank you, Giampiero. And thank you, QJ. I know it's a topic that we could probably talk for hours since it's basically involving all of us, but I think this has been a great conversation, and definitely we will hear more later as well. QJ, thank you very much.